Welcome back to Introduction to Microsoft Excel. In today's session, Session 3, we'll be going over data validation, filters, and grouping. Topics for today's session on data validation, filters, and grouping in Microsoft Excel will be data validation, data filters, grouping and ungrouping, and at the end we'll take a look at adding images to our spreadsheets. In today's session, our data will look as it appears on the top of this PowerPoint slide. So let's get started by opening Microsoft Excel to a brand new workbook and worksheet. So let's take a look at data validation in Microsoft Excel. Data validation is very important in the sense that it helps us to avoid mistakes that can be made when entering data. Let's assume you're recording student exam marks and you know the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 100. You can take advantage of data validation features in Microsoft Excel to ensure that only values between 0 and 100 are entered into your worksheet. Let's begin our data validation exercise by entering the data as shown on the PowerPoint slide here. You will have a column for serial number, name, and score. Once you've finished, click on the Data tab and select cells C2 to C6. These are the cells that we are going to use to record the scores. Click the Data Validation drop-down as shown by the number 1 in the image to the right. Click on Data Validation and you will get the Data Validation dialog window. Select Whole Number, select Between, and set 0 as the minimum and 100 as the maximum value. When you have completed this, select the Error Alert tab. After clicking the Error Alert tab, enter the title and message as shown. The title should be Outside Range Error and the message should be Please enter a value between 0 and 100. When finished, click the OK button. Now let's test this by entering a score greater than 200 into our worksheet. You will get the following error message. Now enter the scores as shown. Secondly, in our session today, we'll take a look at data filters. Data filters allow us to view the data that matches our desired criteria. Let's say we want to show the results of all the students whose names start with JA. Or get scores that are less than or greater than or equal to a certain value. We can use data filters to get such information. Select the Name and Scores column as shown. Click on the Data tab and click on the Sort and Filter button. Drop-down arrows will appear on the columns Name and Scores. Click the Name Filter drop-down, select Text Filters, and select Begins With. You will see the custom AutoFilter dialog window. In this dialog window, select Begins With and enter JA. When you are done, click OK and you should see only Jane and James listed on your worksheet. In part 3 of our session today, grouping and ungrouping, we'll take a look at how to group our data. Grouping allows us to view data easily and also hide unnecessary details from either columns or rows. In addition, we can also use groups to analyze data that belong to a common category. We will illustrate this with an example and a practice exercise by using the student scores data that we entered above. First, we need to remove the filtering that we've already put in place on our data. So click the Name Filter drop-down, select Clear Filter from Name, and this will remove the text filter. Click on the Sort and Filter button. The drop-down arrows will be removed from the columns, and our data should be back to normal. With our data back to normal, we are now ready to proceed with our practice exercise on grouping and ungrouping. First, right-click on Score and select Insert. Name the new column Gender. Change James and Juanita and enter Female for Janet and Juanita. Enter Male for the rest of the students and your sheet should look as follows. Once your data looks like the image to the right, click on the Data tab in the ribbon. Select all the columns and rows within your data. Click on the Group drop-down button as shown below and select Group. You will get the following group dialog window. On the dialog box, make sure the Rows Group option is selected. Click on the OK button and you will get the following results. You will see that a Group Expand and Collapse button has been added to the left-hand side of your worksheet window. Now let's calculate the average scores for female and male students. Select the whole area with data as shown in the image below. Once your data is selected, click on the Subtotal drop-down button on the Data tab. This will give you the following subtotal window. On the Subtotal dialog window, enter the information as shown. Set at each change in to gender. Number 2, set use function to average. Number 3, select score in Add Subtotal to. And finally, click on the OK button. You should now see the following results, with averages for both male and female students. Finally, in our session today, we'll take a look at how to add images into our spreadsheets. At times, you may want to brand your Excel documents with letterhead information or with your department logo. Microsoft Excel has features that will allow you to import images into your Excel spreadsheets. The command for adding images is found under the Insert tab on the ribbon. Click on the Pictures button. You will get the Insert Picture dialog window. You can browse to any folder on your computer that has pictures, and then you can select any picture of your choice. Click the Insert drop-down arrow to see your options. You will get a result that is similar to the one shown below. In summary, this session we have learned how to enter data into Microsoft Excel, format the data, apply validation rules, filter the data, and how to take advantage of groups to further analyze our data. You have also learned how to add images to your worksheets to help improve our data presentation. Using our knowledge gained in this session, practice using data validation, data filtering, and data grouping. Secondly, use the Insert tab Pictures command to add a picture to your worksheet.